This is a bonus video to show you how to bring in a tracing image for your block. When you want to use a tracing image, it is for use with either Easy Draw or Applique. It has a tracing image for both Easy Draw and Applique. I'm going to demonstrate Easy Draw first. First, we have to get into a block. So we're going to do a pieced block, an Easy Draw block. When you bring this up, you can see tracing image is one of the choices next to your drawing tool. When you want to bring in a tracing image, you first need to click on tracing image. Then you need to click on import image. As you can see, the other choices are all grayed out. So the only choice you have at first is to choose import image. I am going to import an image from my pictures because now it's asking me what file do you want to use. And I'm going to use star transition for my tracing image. It sometimes will ask you about the pixels, just accept whatever it gives you. Then it will come up and it will ask you more individual informations about if you wanted to change the width and the height and the pixels of your picture that you're bringing in. I rarely ever change these, so I'm just going to hit OK on these. As I'm working with an image, I'm going to take and check to make sure that it totally fits the area that I'm wanting to fill. As of right now, this image does not. So I'm going to choose one of these position and resize relative to the block choices. I would like this to fit the whole area, so I'm going to click on Distort Fit. What it did was it made it larger depending on what the outsides of the block are. Oh, right now my picture has a ruler around it and it has some white area around it. That's not what I'm looking for. What I'm looking for is a block that's totally filling my block area. So I have to crop this. So I go to crop, and when I go to crop, it gives me crop handles. I then adjust the crop handles to fit the image that I'm wanting to bring in. After I get all of the crop handles, even with the lines around my image, I am going to hit apply crop. If you do not hit apply crop, it will not crop. So make sure you do that. That's one of the things that I've had issues with on my own in the past where I forget to hit apply crop. It doesn't do anything to the picture. So once I apply crop, you can see the picture got larger and fit into the 6x6 background that I'm looking for. Now, I can delete the image from here too, but I don't know why I would want to. And I can adjust the width and the height of it. It's a background picture. I'm okay with it. So I'm ready to go back to my drawing tool. And right now I'm going to draw all of the lines that pertain to this block. Right now I have it set up for a 6x6 1/4-inch snap to grid. So as I'm looking at it, the grid lines match up very well with the lines of the block pieces. So I don't have to change anything. If I happen to have a different measurement in here, let's just say I was using a 4-inch block and I had this set for 20 instead of 24, you can see that the grid lines don't match up now. So I would change them so that they would match up. I'm going back to 24 because that worked well for me. Now I'm going to start drawing my lines. If line isn't chosen, I would click on line. And I'm going to have my snapping options be snap to grid lines because it's lining up well with those grid lines. I'm going to start making my lines. But oh, look, I can't see the first line I'm making. So I need to go adjust my tracing image. So I go back to tracing image, and right here, it's image lightness for tracing. I'm going to change that to be lighter because I just want to be able to see the pattern. I don't need to actually have it be so dark. Now I can go back to drawing tools and I can continue to draw my lines. I'm going to expand on something we talked about in our last lesson, that you can actually draw more lines than what you need to know that your lines are actually crossing over. Instead of having to draw one line for each of these triangle sides, I'm just going to draw straight lines all the way across. So as I go across, sometimes it's going to cross over some of the other areas of the block that are needed. So I'm going to look at the ones that are all in this direction first. Then I'm going to switch to the other side and go with all the ones that are in this direction second. Then I'm going to switch directions and I'm going to go all of my crossways. I've already done this one. I can go to this one and then this one. And I'm using my grid lines to make sure I'm going the correct place. And then here. One more direction. Oops. I accidentally clicked on the slide bar. And that's something I didn't tell you guys about last time. There are slide bars on the right and on the left that you could micromanage how far over you would like to go. Now I have all of my straight lines drawn. I'm going to put in all of the nodes that would go at every crossing point by clicking on color and then clicking back to draw. Now, got a lot of lines, but if I just go ahead and I choose pick tool and I click on the lines and delete, I can clean up this pretty quickly, especially if I use my shift bar and click on all the lines I'm looking to get rid of. Okay, I think I have all of them clicked on. Now I hit my delete button and that cleaned up most of them. And then you can just go back and fix the ones that you miss, because there's always a few that you do miss. But that was a pretty quick way to draw all of these lines and not have to worry about whether your snaps are going to snap to the line. Don't worry about what looks like extra nodes. They're there, but they're not going to do anything because these are all straight lines. If you were working with curves and you had to do some more work on these, they might give you some trouble, but in this form, it's not a problem. Now, when I click on color, You can see I've got them all straightened out. I'm going to go ahead and color this block. And there we go. We have the block. Now when you want to go print it, there's what the block is going to look like. Let me bring one more thing to your attention. I spoke about the hide show image for tracing button. Right now it's engaged. When I unengage it, you can see the tracing image disappears. This is handy if there's lots of lines or lots of oddities in your image. It cleans it up so you can look at what you've done. Then you can go back to your tracing image. And this has been our bonus about bringing in tracing images.